Now, you last heard from visual artist Christian Azolan when he opened up about his dyslexia diagnosis, which came in his adult years. Well, amongst his challenges at school, he championed his creativity, and it's well and truly paid off. He is celebrating his first solo art exhibition at the Fitzrovia Chapel. It's called Little Black Girls, and the run has been extended. And Christian joins me now. Congratulations on the extension, Christian.
Oh, thank you so much. We've actually moved into a new gallery, which is going to be at the Holy Art Gallery from Friday. So that's where we are now.
Okay. And where is that?
That's in East London. That's in E8.
Okay, so great.
Shoreditch area, yeah.
Oh, nice. So tell us a bit about this exhibition and its focus.
Yeah, the main focus started 2 years ago at the beginning of lockdown when I started my art practice. And it was really called Little Black Girls. And the reason being that is the fact that black girls who right now have no one to really look up to when it comes to corporate life. And what I mean by that is, in terms of people from a CEO level, people doing higher management roles in the city, there's not a lot of black women in those areas, including sciences and things like that. And it also includes things like religious iconography. And so when I started doing research, I realized, black girls are really usually tokenistic, or they're very exoticized, or they're depicted as tribal cartoon characters. And I didn't want that. I just thought, if you're a little black girl now, and you're 10 years old, and you're living in London, and you go to an art gallery, you're not represented. You're not seen. So I wanted to really show these girls in a really powerful and strong position so they can look to themselves in the future when they're facing challenges regarding work, life, love, relationship, whatever it may be.
And what I love about the pictures that I've seen is that not only are you creating these images, but you're also the originals are imbued with sort of gold leaf as well. So you're saying there is value in them as well.
Absolutely. In terms of using the most expensive gold that I could find, and really, with the framing and the acrylics that I found and the paint and the photography that I've used, it's about excellence. It's about showing that they have value and they have self-worth. So when they do look at the images, they feel proud, they feel strong, they feel religious, they feel powerful. They feel all those things that goes into, being a young black girl in London.
And tell me about the process of developing this, because obviously you're an artist, but there must have been other layers that you've had to add into it.
Yeah, in terms of the other layers that I've added into it, I first always start with the research and really look about what is happening today, what is happening right now. And picking girls is really a case of looking at my own childhood and realizing that I'm surrounded by strong black women. Yeah. So I knew I had to start there and honor them first before I go on later on and do a boys series. Yeah. So it started about looking and searching inside myself, really, and realizing, why am I doing this? What are the reasons behind it? And what change will this bring? So when I did the show at Fitzrovia and people attended, a lot of the elderly black ladies said to me they wish they had something like this when they were younger. And while the younger girls may not necessarily appreciate the artwork now, but in 20 to 30 years' time, when they get home and they're having a really terrible day, they can look at a picture and look at themselves and be empowered by themselves, which is so much more important.
And it's also important. I mean, I have these conversations time and time again, Christian, but it sounds like you are really, following this path which is necessary, which is about representation and how important it is at any level. And so key, and both for young black girls, young girls generally, but, also for young boys.
Yes, absolutely. Because that's the next part of that series is going into the boys section, where I may feature myself, I may not, in terms of that part of that process, because I feel I'm probably more closely aligned to that. Yeah. But I've had questions where people have asked me, why are you doing girls first? And I'm like, well, why not? I have a voice, I have something to say, and this is the subject matter that I feel like I can contribute to. So I don't feel guilty in a way in thinking, I haven't started with the boys, or maybe I don't have anything to say. I don't feel like I'm taking up a void, because I don't think there's enough artwork that features black figures in it right now.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Tell me about how you went about naming the art, because they've got some very unusual names.
Yeah. Well, the names are really, which is very rare when you use a subject. I've actually used the girls' names in themselves.
Oh, I see.
And with the photography that I've taken of the girls, I've made sure that I didn't draw or give you an idea of what a black face would look like. I'm actually showing you. I'm actually saying, look, these girls are real. These girls really look like this. And I haven't changed their hair. I haven't changed anything figuratively about them. So when you see their face, it really is a case of this is who they are. So I've named them after them because they're real names. You know, some of them are, people might look at it and go, oh, that's very difficult to pronounce, or that's a bit long, or that's a bit... And I was like, no, this is who they are. They're real people. And I didn't want to show an idea of that. I wanted to show really who these girls are.
I love that. I didn't realize that they were real names because some of them are unusual. Sarissa, Zamira. But also it's good for us to be challenged in this way, to look at a name. You know, I think it was probably because I got a tricky name, to look at a name and go, how do we work this? Well, how do I say it, etc.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that I wanted to bring to it. I didn't want to rename them just so it was easier on the viewer. It's like, this is a difficult name for you to pronounce. Give it a go. You know, like, because they're real people. I don't want this idea of just changing it just to make it easier on the viewer. You know, half the challenge is really saying that their name has a heritage and it belongs to them, so there's meaning behind that. So therefore, to strip that away from them against their own images would be wrong in my experience.
I mentioned earlier on that, you know, part of your own personal journey has been dealing with dyslexia. How do you think it has influenced your art?
I think the thing about dyslexia is I think a lot of people think like it's very, like it holds you back. What it simply means is I have to work a little bit harder when it comes to numbers. I have to work a little bit harder than most people. And I think sometimes some things come naturally to others and more. But for me, it's helped me with my art because I'm visually led. So I think what I've done is I've put all my energy and focus into the visual side of things. And then because I'm running an actual art business, you know, I get my partner to help me when it comes to the maths and the numbers and the figures and the taxes and, you know, all the things that you have to do to run a business. I've kind of split that up.
Right.
It doesn't mean that I can't do it. It just means I have to work a little bit harder at it than most people would do. So I don't see it in any way, shape or form as a disability. I just think some people are better naturally at certain things than others. And I've always thought of it in that way. I've never thought of it as something that's holding me back. I've kind of embraced it.
What do you hope people will take away from this exhibition, Little Black Girls? I mean, and as you said, and just please give us the details of where it is. I think you said Holy Arts Gallery because it's now moved.
Yeah. Yeah, it's at the Holy Art Gallery. It's going to be starting on Friday. And what I want people to come and see is just to really just enjoy it. I think a lot of the girls who came to see it themselves, they've never seen themselves look like this or feel like this or be embraced in like this. When I was setting up the exhibition, there was a girl that came in with her mum, a little black girl, and she walked in and she went, "Mummy, that's me." And it wasn't her. But what was nice is she could identify with it straight away.
Yeah.
And that's what I want people to come and do. I want them to see a version of a black girl they've never seen before in a powerful, beautiful stance. Because I've got black angels in there, black queens, you know, things that you don't normally see. So that's what I want people to take away, just to enjoy it visually and walk away and think, actually, these girls are pretty badass. You know, they're pretty powerful.
Fantastic. Well, listen, Christian, thank you so much for taking the time. If you want to see that exhibition, it's at Holy Art Gallery from Friday. The Holy Art Gallery is in E8.